Hello divas, dudes, and dolls, I'm Caricature and welcome back to my hearty, healthy, and heaping little review show, Very Slay, where we go over each and every main stage runway look on Drag Race Espana Season 4. This week was the roast, and if you want my opinions on the looks from said roast, be sure to head over to my Patreon and join as a free member to get the full deep dive on that, and maybe a little discussion on the eliminated girls looks as well. I haven't decided because you really don't get to see them like in full and proper, and I was not really particularly happy to see Angelita back again. I thought the evil was defeated, but alas, she was not. So this week's runway theme was all about headpieces, which we've seen a couple times already this year. I mean, we just saw it on UK a few weeks ago. So let's just get to cracking and dive into all of these looks. And now y'all should know how the show works. If I think that the look got the job done, met the brief, but wasn't anything phenomenal, we give it an okay. If I absolutely adored it, it's a slay. And if I thought that headpiece gave me a headache, it's an A. That's all in efforts to find my weekly slay of the day, my favorite look of the episode. Whichever look takes that top spot will go head to head against our current slay of the season, and whichever look holds that top spot once we've crowned a new winner in just a few weeks will be illustrated by me. And sneak peeks of that illustration and any other art that I work on will be coming to my Patreon, starting exclusively for my $3 tier patrons. But if you want an exclusive bonus video going over the lost looks of Drag Race Espana Season 4, be sure to join the Patreon at the $5 tier level as a good Jude or Judy, and then you can get your little fingies on that one. But before we dive into the looks, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all those lovely little things. It all helps out so much. Let's head on over and then start going over these looks. Up first, we have Chloe, who is doing this lovely little latex bodysuit moment. Now, at first, it's basically just a bodysuit. I think the makeup is cool here. I like the eye shape of this a lot. Originally, I was like, this is it. It's just a latex bodysuit with some spikes and like kind of a tail. We've seen it before. But then she inflated it. And then she had this kind of like punky xenomorph thing going on, which I was kind of into. It was really clean, really well put together. I thought it was a really great look. It's a slay. Up next, we have Vampirasian, who is giving us a mixture of Marlena Dietrich and Elsa Schiaparelli, two of my favorite fashion influences. I loved this menswear take on the whole thing. The fact she made all of this too. I think her father helped, like phenomenal work. Like it's really well put together. I see all the Schiaparelli references. The lobster is a very clear Schiaparelli thing. And on top of that, the headpiece was like so huge. It was so tall, but it was a really well balanced look. I thought it was incredibly effective. And I liked little mustache, this kind of like Victoria thing she had going on. I think it's one of my favorite looks from her as well. It's a slay. Then we have Mariana Stars. I think the headpiece here is great. Her face is gorgeous. I love the hair with this, but I don't really think that the look itself goes super well with the headpiece. I wish that the coat had maybe been a lighter color, had maybe been in a metallic or a silver. Honestly, even a white I think would have looked better than the black. I think just having all of that dark tone there really overall made the look not as like showy, and I think there was something kind of light and whimsical and a little Arte Art Deco-y about that headpiece that I think she could have really taken it all the way in terms of the look, and it would have really been a slam dunk for me. But I don't think it's horrible. I'm gonna give it an okay because I like the headpiece a lot. Then we have Maggie, who we said goodbye to this week, which I'm honestly not that mad at, but I will say this is, in my opinion, her strongest look on the runway. I think it is the most cohesive. I think it's the most well put together as a concept. The scale of the headpiece is really cool. The level of detailing on what's on the headpiece also is really well balanced in terms of a compositional standpoint. Aesthetically, I think this works really well. What doesn't for me is the shape of the skirt because it kind of like poofs out and it's like she's got the bodysuit on and the skirt is basically like a funnel. So I like everything from like the waist up. The skirt is kind of a weird take to me. I just almost wish that it had been like a high-waisted pant. I think would have looked so fierce with it. Had it been like an executive business wear moment, I thought that would have been more effective than whatever this was. I still think this is a really solid look for her. I'm gonna give it a slay. Then we have La Niña del Antro. And I thought this look was actually really interesting. Of the headpieces alone, hers is my favorite because the hands are really creepy. It's cool. There's something that's very like Henry Selick about this in terms of like very Other Mother vibes with the hands. It gives me a very Coraline energy. I really adored it for that fact. The hand coming in front of the face I think is really cool. I think there's a really interesting and very strong case of visual storytelling here on the runway, and I think that's something that she consistently has done well this season. So I enjoy that aspect. I think the outfit itself is also really strong. I really love the sort of straight jacket, bodysuit, dress that's a bit deconstructed, still a bit punky, but it's a really clean aesthetic. I think the cutouts are placed well, the sleeve length is great, the proportions are all right. It's a slay. And then finally we have La Coco, who is the first queen of this season to win 2 challenges, and it took us 8 episodes for that, which is wild to me. I think it just shows how strong this cast overall is, and how, for the most part, there's really no telling, until really now, in my opinion, who is gonna take this. I think it is now La Coco's season to lose. She delivered a masterclass of a roast this week, and more on that will be over on the Patreon in my episode discussion post, which you can access by joining as a free member. I think the headpiece is really cool, having the split Titanic over the iceberg, and this very Kate Winslet rose situation, having the necklace, the dress. I think it's really, really smart detailing. I do wish the dress was a little more something. I think it's a little bit simple for how big and exaggerated and ridiculous this headpiece is. I can't imagine that this headpiece was not heavy. It looks incredibly hefty. As a concept, I adore it, and I think it's really stupid in the best way. So I'm still gonna give it a slay, even though I think the outfit could have been stronger. And with that, it's now time to pick my slay of the day, my favorite look of the entire episode. And for me, I think the one that stands out the most in terms of what I think would be the most fun to draw, that's what this week really comes down to for me, is going to be Vampiracean. I think there's just something so classic about this, that this look is really going to be fairly timeless in my opinion, because it's that mix of old and new in a really great way. And on top of that, it's very true to her aesthetic of being stuck to a very particular era for the whole look. Everything about this reads very 1930s, but also with those really stunning Schiaparelli reference moments in it. Let's put this head to head up against our current slay of the season, which is La Coco's Rural Fashion Week look. As much as I love Vampy, I really do, I have to give it still to La Coco. I think this look is just gonna be super, super gorgeous with the way I illustrate. So I'm gonna keep it there for 1 more week, but we'll just have to find out next time if anything can beat it. So we will find out then. Be sure again to like, comment, subscribe, all those lovely little things, and we will see you in the next one. And until then, be sure to go out there, y'all. Stay kind, stay queer, and make sure that your day is very slay.